Hey guys, this is Aaron. I'm here in my little nursery here, and I have this shape sorter toy on the ground. It made me think maybe we should take a look at the Polygon Tool. The Polygon Tool is a great way to draw shapes in your model. It's real easy to use, a couple of clicks and you can have a shape of any number of sides. But there's some things that the people just don't know about the Polygon Tool I want to take a look at. First thing is that sometimes the Polygon Tool hides. If I look up here, I don't actually have the Polygon Tool anywhere on my toolbar. It's actually nested in with the rectangle tool. If I click down on this little down arrow next to the rectangle tool, I get a little fly out. At the bottom is polygon. So like I said, using the Polygon Tool is pretty simple. If I click and drag, I'm drawing a polygon. That's really all there is to it. Right now I'm drawing a 6-sided polygon. If I look down in the lower right corner, while I'm not drawing, it tells me the number of sides that I'm going to draw. If I want to change that, I can type in 5, hit enter. I'm drawing a 5-sided polygon. 3, enter, and I'm drawing a triangle. So it's pretty simple to define the number of sides you want to draw beforehand. But what do you do if you're in the middle of drawing and decide you need to change the number of sides? If you hold down the Option key on Mac or Control key on Windows and hit the plus or minus key, you can actually increase or decrease the number of sides as you draw. So that's a great way if you forgot to set that and you're drawing and don't want to let go of the mouse button or something like that, you can change that. Another nice option with Polygon Tool is to change how you're actually drawing it. So we have the ability to put in a dimension right now, which is going to, in this case, be what's called the inscribed radius. That's the measurement from the middle point, the point that I picked first, to one of the corners. I can change this so I'm actually drawing to one of the sides rather than one of the corners by just tapping the Option or Control key. If I do that, you can see that little dotted circle there showing me the distance of the radius. My polygon jumps from inside that circle to outside that circle and gives me the dimension to a side rather than a corner. So it's a real quick and easy way to change how you're drawing depending on the dimension you need. So if I want to draw a specific size, I want to draw a triangle that's going to fit in my little shape sorter here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the middle to one of the points. And down in the lower right corner, it tells me that that is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go back to the Polygon Tool. I'm going to type in 3 because that's the number of sides I want to draw. I'm going to start drawing out. I can use the Option key to switch inside or outside. So I'm on the inside, and I'm going to type 1.5 inches. And that gives me a shape that would fit right in my shape sorter. Another thing while we're talking about drawing shapes, if I come over here and hop into the circle command, just like with the Polygon Tool, I can set the number of sides that I want to create a circle with. Generally speaking, something like 24 will give you a nice round circle. Circles are circular shapes, but they are still made up of segments. So if I want to drop down to a low number like 6, I can still draw what is technically a circle with only 6 sides. Now the reason this is nice, let me show you something. If I come in here and I switch to polygon, and I'll do a 6-sided polygon, draw it right next to my 6-sided circle, right now they look pretty much the same. However, if I take and pull these into 3D, you'll see a big difference. Okay, so what happens is with a polygon, each side is distinctly different and separate, so I get these surfaces that get pulled out of there. With a circle, even though it looks like a polygon, it's actually all welded together, so when I pull it up, it sees this as a single surface. So this is a great tip if you're doing something like you're modeling something for 3D and you want to keep a circle but you don't want to have a whole bunch of sides. Simplify it. You can decrease the number of sides on a circle. That's going to simplify your geometry. Or if you're working in a big model where you don't need a whole lot of detail but you're trying to keep your polygon count down, you can do that by modeling with a low number of sides on a circle. So that's just a couple tips about drawing shapes, polygons, and circles. Thank you.